What's up, kids? Welcome to our pilot episode of Wrestler Geeks. I'm your host, Justin Shaw.
I am the fox himself, Black Fox.
And today I would like to open up the show talking about SmackDown's pay-per-view called Backlash.
So, my good friend,
What's up?
there were a lot of good matches that happened down on SmackDown's Backlash last night.
Definitely, man.
And one of the best ones that I heard about was the beginning match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. What was your opinion on it?
You want to know my opinion on that show? I gotta say one word. Kinshasa!
Nice.
Well, me and you both know that Ziggler was gonna get a Kinshasa and get the count 1, 2, 3. But the way how the match started, I thought it was pretty good. There was some, clinching, hooking, some, grappling going on. Dolph Ziggler teasing Shinsuke Nakamura a few times, but Shinsuke wasn't gonna have that. The match ended off eventually with just Shinsuke Nakamura slamming Dolph Ziggler in the middle of the ring and then finishing him off with a Kinshasa. That being said, let's move on to my least favorite match, which was the Breezango versus the Usos. The reason why I say this was my least favorite was because to me it didn't even feel like a wrestling match. It just felt more like a comedy skit. Yeah, like Saturday Night Live. Like, don't get me wrong. Breezango, I like Breezango. They're entertaining, but I don't know. It's like their segment was more like an intermission comedy skit. I felt personally that they could have won the belts if Tyler Breeze with the blonde hair?
Yeah, Tyler Breeze.
He was the one portraying the Master of Disguise with the mop.
Yeah.
I figured if he continued on with that strategy, Breezango would have won the belts.
Yeah, never know. I liked it though. It was funny.
It was also funny that one of the Usos took the dress off of Tyler Breeze and threw it at JBL and it landed on his head. That was funny.
I got a good laugh out of that too.
Next match, I believe, was the Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. Don't get me wrong, Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn, they're my two favorite wrestlers. They're the reasons why, well, now that Sami Zayn's on SmackDown, but Baron Corbin is the reason why I watch SmackDown, because he's a great heel, and what I mean by a great heel is that he's a heel that's very anti-authoritative, that doesn't take garbage from nobody. Those are the kind of heels that I like. Not like those crybaby heels like Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho, and then they go out there and cheat. Baron Corbin, who'll just pull out a chair and beat you with it if he had to, just to win.
Ironic, huh?
But I'm actually glad that Sami Zayn won the match. To me, like I said, Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn, they're my two favorite wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn now on SmackDown, finally. Yay! It could have gone both ways for either one of my favorite wrestlers, but I'm glad that Sami Zayn won the match because he's been on a losing streak lately. And I was hoping that he wouldn't get treated the same way he would be treated as he was on Raw. Let's just hope that doesn't happen in the future.
Not to the underdog.
And as for the 6-woman tag match, to me, it just felt like the welcoming committee was just going to win that match simply by cheating. And it's like, this feud has been going on since the Superstar Shakeup. And I feel like, give it that 2 more matches on SmackDown between the women's division, this feud is going to have to end in a hardcore match. I don't care if it's a 6-woman steel cage match or disqualification match. It just has to end in a hardcore match, in my opinion, for the women's division. Okay. As for Kevin Owens and AJ Styles,
the phenomenal one himself.
I'm a huge fan of AJ Styles. He's a well-rounded wrestler. I loved him when he was in ROH in New Japan I love him especially for his high-flying style. Even though we don't see his high-flying style as much in WWE, but he's still a great wrestler. So I have to give him credit for his recent match with Shane O'Mac, but that's history now. But as for Kevin Owens, he's a well-rounded wrestler too. Like Kevin Owens literally puts his body on the line to win the match. I notice in every match he competes in, he's known for doing that flip that he does.
Cannonball.
Cannonball. And what's the other one where it's like a leg drop, but like he drops his back on his opponent? Was it the senton? The senton?
Yes.
He's known for those moves, so he likes to use his body as a full wrestling weapon.
Showing you big people can fly too, man. Just like
didn't
cruiserweights.
AJ Styles came up short because of an injured leg in the middle of the match?
Well, what had happened was during the match, AJ was about to try and do what was his move again?
The springboard forearm?
No.
Oh, the Styles Clash. Styles Clash. Oh, okay, okay.
He was about to do the Styles Clash on the table.
Okay.
And Kevin Owens, crafty as he is, pulled out and threw his leg right in between the middle part of the table. And, unfortunately went for a count-out victory. Owens ended up retaining, and AJ lost, sadly.
Didn't Kevin Owens hit AJ Styles with his United States belt, and that was the same leg that he injured?
That's true. I heard about that as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the feud between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles is gonna last a little bit longer. But like I said, for any feud in WWE, it just has to end in a hardcore match. Like I said, it could be a tables match, it could be a ladder match, it could be a steel cage match. It just has to end in one of those type of matches. I don't know about you, but I love those type of matches. I don't know why. I just do.
They're normally the things that settle things, if anything.
Right. Now, this was kind of one of my favorite matches too, but me personally, I felt that the match between Luke Harper and Eric Rowan should have lasted a little bit longer. Let me rephrase that. Eric Rowan should have gotten a little bit of a longer beating from Luke Harper. To me, the match seemed like a measly 20 minutes. I can understand it was booked as the co-main event for Backlash. But it should have lasted a little bit longer. And I felt from all the pain and suffering that Luke Harper has been through with Eric Rowan, the match should have lasted longer. Luke Harper is one of my favorite wrestlers. He's really nasty with that super kick. Like if you go up against him, he'll just like kick you, like hesitating, like pow.
Yeah. The discus clothesline isn't too bad either.
Yes, of course, and the suicide dive. The suicide dive. I kind of wonder if Luke Harper got his wrestling style influenced and inspired by Lucha Libre wrestling. Hasn't he done like a moonsault before or something like that?
Yeah, it didn't end well for other person. He did too.
Was that when he got injured a while back in a dark match in NXT?
Yeah.
It was, right? But anyways, that's history. And now for the main event. Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. The match started well. Randy Orton, without hesitating, started beating the crap out of Jinder Mahal. It was a good match. But me personally, I don't think Jinder Mahal needed the Singh brothers to cheat for him and to win the belt.
Hey.
Jinder Mahal, he's like a really big brute. I don't know if you read comic books, Hulk comic books. What's that villain's name that he's like the Hulk, but he's not really as strong as the Hulk?
The Abomination?
Exactly. Jinder Mahal, he's like one big brute, like Abomination.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's why they call him Hard Body Mahal.
Really? That's
Yeah.
what they call him?
That's what they're calling him now.
Jeez.
That and the Maharaja.
I've seen like a recent picture of him on social media, Facebook or on YouTube, and it showed how he looked last year, the year before, and how he looked now. So people are speculating that he was,
Well.
let's just say he was hitting the weights. Let's just say he was hitting the weights. But the match started off good. Randy Orton beating the crap out of Jinder Mahal. But fans were completely upset because of the fact that, with the help of the Singh brothers, Jinder Mahal was able to win the belt against Randy Orton. A lot of little kids were upset, but I wasn't. Not to be mean, but I actually wanted Jinder Mahal to win the belt.
I think a lot of us wanted to as well.
No, but the reason why is because, he's a big guy, Mm-hmm. Big guys, big wrestlers, like Vince McMahon, should get most of the attention.
I like the fact that he won because it was a completely out of nowhere factor.
Yeah.
When you think about it, a few weeks ago, Jinder was jobbing on Raw. As soon as he came to SmackDown, he made his point known. He wasn't the most popular choice, and he was the one that nobody expected to win. A lot of us going into that entire 5-way battle that they had we thought it was either going to be AJ or Sammy, at best.
I was going for Sammy.
Going for
Sammy.
To be honest, I was too, but Jinder won. And if you looked at his promos recently, especially with some of the matches he had, the Singh brothers won, but the fact that it actually makes him look a lot stronger, look better, because he is what a lot of people say would be a classic heel. He's got his goons with the Singh brothers who help him interfere in the matches, and look what happened. The Maharaja is now the new champion.
I don't think Jinder Mahal really needs the Singh brothers by his side. Like he could have won the match by himself if he really wanted to, without the help of the Singh brothers. But it's also interesting now that he's the heavyweight champion on SmackDown, so that means he has a big bullseye on his back.
Exactly.
A lot of wrestlers in the locker room want that heavyweight championship. And this is what bugs me out. Kevin Owens has the United States belt. Why go after the heavyweight championship if you already have one of the belts?
Well, I can think of 2 reasons. Think about it. Only, I believe, 3 people have ever held the United States title and the WWE Championship.
Was it John Cena?
No, it was the last one who did it was Seth Rollins. But
really,
I digress. The fact that being able to actually be one of those dual champions showcases the fact that you are definitely on your way to being one of the best. My personal opinion.
Speaking of Seth Rollins, I've seen the highlight advertisement of the match between him and Roman Reigns this coming Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that match, and the pre-match between, was it the triple threat match for the Raw pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's just the triple threat between the 3 guys who are in the event. Because remember,
go ahead.
It's a 5-way.
But the pre-match prior to that isn't on Raw with Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who else.
Finn Balor. Okay. And, of course, Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Me personally, it's 5, right? 5?
Yeah, all 5 of them will be in there in one.
But at the next Raw pay-per-view, my money is going on Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor.
What do you mean? Like to win, or?
Yeah, to win.
Oh, to win.
But I'm a little skeptic. I don't want to say skeptic. I'm a little concerned about Finn Balor because I know he's going through his I know he's been out from injury for a while, and now he's going in that ring with that big long sleeve on his arm. So a lot of wrestlers, would use that to their advantage towards, winning.
Yeah.
Going for the wrestler's weakness.
But you got to remember as well, Finn technically never lost the belt. He had to relinquish it.
Right. I was disappointed when I found out that he had to relinquish the belt. Yeah. I'm like, oh damn! And I even remember watching him during an NXT.
Yeah.
He's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. He's a great wrestler, and I honestly don't care if he becomes a face or a heel. Just continue performing the way he normally performs. Overall, for SmackDown Backlash pay-per-view, it was a great pay-per-view, but I just felt like, since I like tables, ladders, chairs, and steel cages, they needed to add one match in that pay-per-view, but they did it. It was okay, it was decent. It was a decent pay-per-view compared to the last SmackDown pay-per-view, which was Backlash. But overall, things are still looking up for SmackDown despite the superstar shakeup. Jinder Mahal should be watching his back since he has,
the championship
and a big bullseye.
Yep. But hey, it's not. Remember what Triple H once said. It's not about just getting the title. It's about being able to keep it.
Right.
He's got a difficult road ahead of him. Right. But you know what? Jinder's a crafty guy. He won it. I'm pretty sure he'll figure out a way to keep it. Singh brothers and all.
Oh, speaking about the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal, this is something that I found out recently.
Okay. Surprise me.
I just found out recently, according to a YouTube source called Sports Entertainment, Jinder Mahal is billed in India, but sources say from Sports Entertainment, according to YouTube, that he's not from India. He's actually from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So I'm guessing, they like to change up wrestlers. They like to, I guess, come up with some sort of way to promote them or come up with some sort of story. I'm not complaining. I just wanted to, put that out there.
No problem. He's still technically, in the end, he's still representing for his country.
Right.
So there's no issue at all with that.
Right. One other thing I actually thought. Never mind. Let's move on. So much material to cover. So what do you have to say about NXT Takeover Chicago? Surprise me.
All right. Well, the fact of the matter remains is NXT Takeover Chicago was phenomenal.
Yes.
It definitely had a lot of good matches, a lot of good high points. Some of them, there were a lot of surprises that nobody saw coming. I guess we could start off one of the first matches. Let's start with one of my personal favorite matches.
Okay.
Was the women's triple threat match. I'm gonna start that off with.
Yes.
Asuka ended up fighting to defend her title in a three-way dance. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be a fatal four-way, but Ember Moon had gotten injured recently due to Asuka involving herself in the Battle Royal. That means the fact that Sanity's own Nikki Cross and, of course,
Nikki Cross.
Yeah, Miss Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott.
All of them came in preparing for a fight.
Yep.
And you know what? Asuka went in there, started off the fight, showing the fact that she can handle 2-on-1.
Yep.
Nikki Cross, later on, unpredictable as always,
Yep.
came in showing the fact that she was ready for a fight. Ruby Riott wasn't going to let it happen. They battled all over the area. There were a lot of close calls. Heck, I even thought at one point Ruby was actually going to win it.
Me too.
But in the end, my baby girl Asuka came in, knocked them both out, and pinned them both at the same time. That was a pretty good fight. I ain't going to lie about that. And then we have another match that I personally enjoyed.
Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami?
Yeah. Well, there's that. The NXT for the world title. Hideo, as anybody else know, had gotten himself injured previously. And, well, this is his time to actually shine. He wanted to make good on a promise he made 2 years ago when he first started. So tensions were really high. And, of course, Bobby Roode, being who he is.
Roode.
Yeah. Basically said, not in my NXT.
His NXT?
Hey, he's the champ. He can make the rules. Well, the fight went exceptionally well. Those two were basically going at it with strikes, with attacks. And you know what? The highlight of the entire match was when in Chicago, Hideo Itami managed to get Bobby Roode set up for the GTS. That, to me, was pretty dang good. The only thing that came up, unfortunately, was in the end, it came up short. Bobby Roode managed to actually roll out of the ring before Hideo could actually pin him. Hideo finally got the opportunity, he kicked out. And, of course, Hideo kicked out of the Roode DDT.
Okay.
That's what I like to call it, at least. Or the Glorious DDT, we were going to call it for that. And in the end...
Glorious DDT.
Hey. In the end, though, I'm not even going to lie. You got to give it to Bobby Roode. Ended up hitting 2 Glorious DDTs back-to-back to put away Hideo. A lot of things nobody really saw coming at all, but...
Hideo Itami should have put Bobby Roode on the GTS more than once. GTS didn't stand for go to sleep.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, when he first hit him with it, he went to sleep.
You know what it should have been called? It should have been called shut up and in parentheses go to sleep.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that didn't happen.
What can you say about one of my favorite matches in NXT? The ladder match between DIY and the Authors of Pain. Surprised me.
Well, that match was definitely the highlight of everyone else. I was surprised when it was going on last night because I honestly thought it was going to go on before anything else. And, well, DIY proved the fact that at one point they were a great team that, honestly, when DIY first won the tag titles, NXT Tag Team Championship, I thought for a second that, they were going to hold it for a long time. I wasn't expecting them to lose so easily to the Authors of Pain. But the Authors of Pain ended up proving the fact that they are the go-to team. First, DIY, they just went straight after the Authors of Pain that entire fight. Using everything they could with the ladders. I believe they both have had past matches with ladders involved.
Right. I remember.
Yeah. They ended up hitting them hard, hitting them quick. And there were some moments where you honestly thought that they were actually going to grab the belts. Of course, the Authors of Pain weren't going to let that really happen. They ended up showing their own strength.
Of course.
But to me, one of the best moments of that entire thing was a moment where Johnny Gargano was about to climb up the ladder. He was this close. And then, of course, Paul Elric decided to get involved.
That really ticked me off.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. But what happened? Paul Elric got a boot to the face with a super kick from Mr.
Right?
Wrestling.
He deserved a super kick and then a DDT.
Yeah.
And then another super kick.
Well, unfortunately, the Authors of Pain didn't let that happen, and they beat the heck out of Johnny. And then they got the ladder, were about to hit Tommaso Ciampa in the face of that ladder. What happened? Johnny ended up getting involved, pushing his partner out of the way and taking the hit for himself. I'm not going to lie. Tommaso ended up getting some payback. He grabbed one of them and then ended up throwing him through the ladder. I'm not sure if it was, I think it was Akam. I'm pretty sure it was Akam.
I can't tell who's who because to me they look like twins.
Yeah. Ended up tossing him through the ladder. It came on back and forth. They were really going at it till, unfortunately, in the end, Super Collider off the ladder.
Really?
Yeah, really. I didn't expect that either, but you know what? It went through heck. And, everybody, when they first look at the Authors of Pain, you're thinking there's no way these guys are going to be able to climb up a ladder. In the beginning, it kind of looked like that. But in the end, what happened? They ended up getting the ladder. Authors of Pain retained the championship. And now, the next part of the chapter with the DIY has been closed.
So it seems.
But that wasn't how everything ended, though. Okay. We all thought the fact that, it would just end. They would just...
Because I turned it off. I literally was disappointed, and I literally turned off my TV. Mm-hmm. The minute when I saw the Authors of Pain grab the belts and the bell rung, I was like, Like, I knew DIY wasn't going to win the match. Like, typically, like a lot of competitors, they get a big match, they lose, and then they get drafted onto the main roster. Mm-hmm. Or they end up going to another wrestling promotion of some sorts. But I really wanted DIY to actually win the tag champions because they have gone through a long way, and they've been through a lot. They were harassed by the Revival. Now they're being harassed by a much bigger tag team, the Authors of Pain. So, being that that they lost the title matches, I wonder what's next for DIY. Are they going to remain in NXT, or are they going to go on to the main roster, such as Raw and SmackDown? I would love to see them on SmackDown.
Hey, buddy. About that. Yeah, I don't think DIY is going to be getting any more title opportunities or tag team matches. Because, you see, what had happened was, after the match,
Dude,
you
got scaring me.
After the match, as they were both going up the ramp, everybody gave them a crowning ovation. Tommaso Ciampa snapped and basically beat the hell out of Johnny Gargano.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
And I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Well, we all expected Tommaso Ciampa to one day.
I knew it, and I knew it had something to do with them fighting each other in the Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, we don't know yet. Tommaso Ciampa hasn't given a statement yet. I'm pretty sure it will be soon.
Wow.
And I can tell you this much. He beat the heck out of Johnny. Like Johnny Gargano, it got to the point where basically he had to be stretchered out. And they even stated in this week's NXT that they're not going to be giving any medical statements about anything involving Gargano's status or any other thing that's happened to him.
We're almost out of time, so I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Please feel free to email me at shawjustin576@gmail.com.
And you can find me at followthefox777@gmail.com.
I'm your host, Justin Shaw.
And I'm Black Fox.
Everyone, have fun, be safe, and don't get into any fights. This is Wrestler Geeks. We'll see you soon.